Yeah, I don't want to ruin anybody's fun here.
Well, happy Halloween there, Linda. Hey everyone, how you doing?
Oh, we're doing great, Gary. How about you?
I'm doing good. Now that intro was a very short intro. We were going to do a 3-minute one, but Brent didn't want a long one, so we did a short one. And so for those of you who don't like the little timer, there's a little thing at the bottom of the video. You can actually zip it over. But I
And to
just
the
like,
start.
we like the music. Like, we have intros on lots of different ones with different music. And some we've had to reach out to people to get approval. And,
Hey,
anyways,
puts us in the mood.
puts us in the mood. And that little music put us in the Halloween music. I don't know if I had it loud enough, though. It's still playing in the background just a little bit. Anyways, how's everybody doing today? Linda, how are you?
I'm doing awesome, and I'm not going to throw water on everybody's Halloween plans and to talk about sugar addiction, but it's something we're going to address after Halloween. So you can load up on all those little mini chocolate bars as much as you want.
Just got a detox after.
Yeah, you got a problem. You're going to be feeding those sugar bugs, and guess what? They're going to make you want to eat more and more
Well,
and
that's
more.
the thing with those beggars. Now, so would you classify sugar as an addictive substance?
Yes, they actually have done studies that say it's as addictive as cocaine.
No way. Serious?
Yes. So it's one of those things that people, once they have a little bit, they just can't seem to quit. So, what is going on in our brains?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Now, I haven't had sugar in years now, but when I had it, when I was taking it, yeah, you're right. It's like you got to have your sugar fix, and
Totally.
uh, and so it is. That's interesting because I'd never heard that it's as addictive as cocaine. That is actually quite interesting.
And
So
I guess the best adage is just how do we avoid it? And it's just everywhere, especially if you're eating a lot of processed foods.
yeah,
That is one of the main ingredients. And the worst thing is that when they say low fat foods, because our culture has been on a unfortunately low fat phobic
yeah.
kick for some time. But to get a low fat food, they increase the sugars.
Was that right? That I did
Yeah,
not know. So they're going to get you addicted either on the fat or on the sugar, either one. Well,
that's
that's
right. That's
yeah,
right.
those little devils. Well, that's interesting.
So
Uh,
I think the what prompted me to do a specifics on the sugar addiction was I had a response from a teacher, an elementary teacher. I was standing around in the recess yard with my son at the time. This is how far back this comment goes.
right.
Like we're talking 25 years plus. And the teacher said to me, "What is wrong with sugar?"
She
Do
asked you
you
that?
Yeah. She says, "What's wrong with having sugar?" Okay, I don't know if that music's going to be distracting for
I'm going to
people,
put it
but
down to two. We'll just leave it at two. Two decibels.
2
Only the
decibels.
dogs can hear it.
No, no, down further because I'm getting distracted myself.
Okay. Okay, there we
Oh my
go.
gosh. Hey, so this teacher says to me, "So what is wrong with sugar?" I was just so flabbergasted that somebody wouldn't know that sugar can cause diabetes, for one
Yeah.
thing. It
Yeah.
causes tooth decay.
Yeah.
It's not just white sugar, it's all the other forms of it too
And
that's
doesn't it
hidden.
affect a lot of other stuff like
Well,
heart disease and stuff like that too? I mean, there's a big list, isn't it, that sugar does affect?
yes, that's how you arrive at those is the
Oh, okay.
bacteria that it encourages in our body actually starts to the bacteria are eating away at
Right.
your cardiovascular walls
Right.
and causing then the body to repair those walls, which then leads to hardening of the arteries. Then you get your elevated blood pressure, which then could lead to stroke and other cardiovascular conditions.
Mhm.
And How about dementia and Alzheimer's? It starts to affect the blood vessels everywhere when the
Okay.
bacteria and the viruses. So, what is that? That's the microbiome that is enhanced by all your sugar binging, chocolate, flour products, too, because those carbohydrates break down into sugar.
So can you reverse
My goodness,
when you've binged sugar for a long period of time,
what's that long period of time mean?
all your life?
There you go.
Can you reverse it? So, is there no hope for those who, and I'm not talking about me because I've quit, but those who are still going for the sugar high and they watch this and go, oh, geez, I better smarten up. Can you reverse it?
Well, yes, you can. Of course, you have to change your habits and your tastes, and that takes time. And usually, we reach for sugar believing that it's going to help us with energy. We reach for sugar because that's our drug of choice. That's
Right.
why in the little descriptor I started saying, well, how often do you actually dose yourself with sugar? Can you
Yeah.
live without sugar for 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours? I mean, anything sweet,
Yeah. Yeah.
not the carbohydrates so much. We won't go there. But
Yeah. But the
let's
sweets.
the sweets, like, can you get over that need to have a little something because you need that little something after every big meal?
Yeah. Now, are there alternatives that a person can have if they want something sweet, but it's not going to have the addictive, damaging effects of sugar?
um, well, ideally drink some water. uh,
Okay, that's not
that
that sweet. That's not that
No,
sweet, though.
I know. So then you have to go for a piece of fruit, a
Oh, okay.
small piece, like a few pieces, and not dried fruit. That's like eating candy.
Right.
So when we talk about, okay, what has how much sugar in it, I was just looking up how many grams of sugar is in an apple, but I didn't get there. So 10 grams of sugar is what we're technically supposed to keep our dietary intake below. So then you got to look at, well, what's the glycemic index of different foods,
Yeah.
including fruit. So fruit is your best option, and it does start to taste sweeter if you haven't had any actual flat out sugar, maple syrup,
Right.
honey, jam, all these other little goodies.
Yeah.
So stevia, it was an interesting research project just for preparing for this, to find out that it's 200 to 300, seems like various research numbers, um, times the sweetness of sugar. So, is it good for us? Well, according to this one researcher, he said that if you can get green stevia that hasn't been bleached into the white looking sugar
Yeah.
without other additives like maltodextrin in there to also be a flavor enhancer, because
Right.
a lot of people don't like the bitter aftertaste of stevia. So
Right.
they put in these other things in there to help mask it.
Mm.
At the end of the day, I think you got to learn how to change your taste buds.
Yeah.
I really do. I don't think there's any real good substitute, but it can be a process.
Yeah.
You know, you can start with that, and then eventually, I remember when I used to enjoy coffee with sugar, and then I moved to, back then, aspartame, then I
Yeah.
moved to stevia, then I decided that was bad tasting too, so no more sugar in my coffee.
Yeah. Yeah.
One coffee a day,
One coffee a day.
ideally.
And by the way, we're talking about getting off sugar, and like Linda said at the beginning of the live stream, we're not saying don't enjoy Halloween and go for the gusto. Just
Well, maybe not the go for the gusto. I mean, those boxes of 99 pieces or whatever they are,
oh, I
those
know.
little mini chocolate bars. So, when we talked about 10 grams of sugar, I have a list here that I made. So, what is 10 grams of sugar? So, one fun size, those little treat bars
Yeah.
of Snickers,
Snickers.
is
Yeah.
your whole day's sugar intake. One. Um, how about one package of the peanut M&Ms? Same
yeah.
thing. 6 pieces of those candy corn. Yick. I don't like those, but thank goodness.
Yeah.
Um, those pink, yellow,
Yeah,
orange little thingies.
yeah, I
Yeah,
remember them.
6 of those. Two Twizzlers. I could go through a whole pack of those at
Oh,
the
you and me
movies.
both. Yeah.
Oh man, those are fun. Those are over with now. And then there's some caramel corn packages. So 6 gummy bears are 10 your max. So
Wow.
that means you have to sort of pull those little gummies out, and that's it. That's all you get for
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah. Try to do that. Not. Jeez.
So
That's like saying
it's
like they
terrible.
it's like on ice cream, right? They've got this little thing saying, "What's the serving for ice cream?" Ice cream, 2 teaspoons. Oh yeah, right. Somebody's gonna have 2 teaspoons of ice cream. Try that out for size.
Well, I've become a Haagen-Dazs girl myself, so then I just look at, okay, half a cup, what how many calories is that? And because it's got the most natural ingredients than
Yeah,
some of these, somebody was trying to convince me somebody else has good ice cream too that doesn't have a lot of additives and weird fats that have 15 letters in the name.
yeah,
But um, it's of course quantity and looking at, okay, why am I binging, why do I need that little something? So typically it's boredom or stress that will
yeah.
get us kicking off if you don't have an off button at all.
That's
And
me.
so then you just don't start and you just don't buy those things to have in
Yeah,
the house.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so those are sort of the best things to consider and think about when you're moving around the grocery store. And some kids have improved greatly when I increase their protein. So eating more protein and good quality fats satiate growing bodies.
yeah.
And that will apply to us as well as adults, that if we feel more satiated and with healthy, nourishing food, then we're not going to reach for the junk because we subconsciously must be programmed to think that that's going to give us energy.
That's true, right? That is
Mm,
so true. I'm thinking back that yeah, if you have a good decent meal, you really don't. I mean, how many times you at Christmas or Thanksgiving you get the big turkey and then you get this pie. Nobody wants the dessert after having this big feed of
good
turkey
food.
and all the good food, right? It's like, yeah, okay, if we have to, and then they go and die on the
Sometimes.
couch someplace because they're so overstuffed.
Yes, and often what accompanies those types of meals is alcohol. And there's this misconception that alcohol breaks down into sugar. No, carbs break down into sugar,
Sugar, yeah.
and alcohol breaks down into a, an aldehyde type. So, what else rhymes with aldehyde? Formaldehyde. Oh, formaldehyde is something we use for embalming. It's a poison. Aldehyde means poison, and so then our livers automatically go into, oh my gosh, I'm not going to process sugar. I'm going to process this poison, alcohol, and get it moving out of the system, and it breaks down into carbon dioxide and water, which then means, oh, okay, respiratory depression is what happens with alcohol poisoning because your body isn't able to off fume the carbon dioxide produced by the breaking down of the alcohol. Isn't that
So
scary?
that is so scary. So are you talking about
That's
drinking
alcohol though.
alcohol? You drinking
Yeah,
alcohol?
yeah, drinking
What about
alcohol.
alcohol sugar? Like the what do you call it?
No, not
Some
that.
of some of the sugars that are like
No, no, no. Well, that's
that's a
probably got to be processed down by the liver as well, but that's a
yeah,
chemical.
chemical. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So when your body, your liver has to become uh, consumed with thinking about getting rid of a poison, it stops working on the food part, and so your blood sugar actually drops. It
Right.
doesn't go up. So it's not alcohol. The point is, alcohol is not a sugar, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean you can go ahead and start drinking alcohol as a sugar substitute for
No,
fun
but what
and
I meant is, how some of those uh,
yeah, yeah,
other sugars that are made from
mannitol and a few of the others.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
those aren't healthy.
No, didn't think so.
So anything that you're even questioning, not healthy.
Don't take it.
For kind of a good.
Drink water, eat dirt, you're fine.
Yeah, well, the problem. Well, don't forget, like people will also ask me, well, what if I do a big night of binging on sugar and just eat like a whole tub of ice cream because something went wrong at work or whatever? The best thing you can do is not over exercise, just do some mild exercise so that the metabolism is actually using up the sugar
Right, right.
in the bloodstream. And then you drink lots of water to
Yeah,
flush it out
yeah.
of the kidneys. That's the best way to
That's
get
a good
over
point.
a binge. So what was the there was a couple other things. So when you binge on sugar, what are you going to feel like? Irritable, bloated, maybe a headache. It's actually all the same symptoms as when you feel like you haven't eaten enough.
Yeah,
So or skipping a meal. So hyperglycemia and hypoglycemia kind of look the same.
yeah.
Um, but it's a little different when you're having sweating because then that could also indicate that there's a problem with the insulin balance, right, Gary?
Yeah, and I've had that where you get your heart starts pumping and you start sweating and you're shaky, and yeah, that's when I know I'm down into the threes when you're looking at your blood
Blood
sugar level.
sugar. Yeah, so how do we know if we've got a blood sugar problem? Because doctors will look at your blood work and say, oh, your HbA1c is 6. No, that's not good enough. Not the naturopathic levels. You've got to be under 5.5
Mm-hmm.
for an HbA1c. That's the snapshot of 3 months worth of your blood sugar.
Right,
It's also good to do blood glucose fasting, even if it's just a one snap of your blood work. Just good to see if it's sitting around 5.
right.
Um, you can also start using a glucometer if you've been warned that you have pre-diabetes. I highly recommend that.
Mm-hmm.
Get a glucometer and start monitoring your blood sugar 2 hours after a meal.
Right.
And also, there's those patches that are amazing these days to monitor your spikes in blood sugar because in another program about anti-aging, monitoring and keeping track of your blood sugar is so important because that elicits the cortisol response and it shows that you've got sugar in your bloodstream, which for me means you've got more bacteria, viruses, parasites floating around there that are waiting to chew away at your joints and your arteries and your brain.
Well, I'd
Hmm.
just love to hear that. That.
Yummy.
Jeez.
Yeah, but this is so important because people aren't thinking, what's the
No,
long term effect of this stuff?
no. Need to be aware. Absolutely.
Yep, yep. I don't know. So, what was I hoping to promote with all of this? Well, I was hoping to prompt, because I'll send out an email of this sort. How about a no sugar-a-thon for the month of November? What do you think of that?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I can
That's a
tell
good
you're
one.
so excited.
So we need. Well, I'm not doing any. I'm doing it already anyway. So for me, it's not a biggie. I'm used to it. But for those who are on here, if you are heavy into the sugar, beware. You're going to have some withdrawals.
For 3 days.
Oh, for 3 days, you may not be a nice person. Just saying.
Uh-huh. So eat more meat, I
Yep.
guess,
Yep.
veggies, have some more of those types of foods that watch your protein.
Yeah.
Um, Not your carbs, because another limb of the no sugar would be also to add in no flour products because flour quickly breaks down. And much to my surprise, many smoothie powders would also be included in this sugary type of food
Really.
source. Yes.
Yeah.
So probably no processed food,
Mm-hmm.
ideally, because they're going to have, and processed food, even if they're claiming it's healthy, not a go in this situation. First, let's see if you're an addict, because when are you going to break down and start to sneak something in the bathroom, the closet, where somebody can't catch you? And counting how many of those leftover chocolate bars there are there, like who took those last 5?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know how that goes.
Yeah.
So
Well, that'll be that's a okay. That's a good
challenge.
challenge. We'll put that out to everybody to for the month of November. See how long you can go without sugar.
Okay, so then people are going to start negotiating with me. They already have. Well, when I get all these candies and goodies in the house from this coming up weekend, can't we use those up? And I'm going to say, sure, you can. But what I want you to prepare for is maybe, the following Monday. That's when it starts
Yeah, okay.
officially. But prior to, I want you to drink a minimum of 2,000 mils of water measured. I want to know for sure everybody is well hydrated
Yeah.
because that also helps with the sugar cravings. Can I speak today?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I haven't had any sugar. Um, so, you know, let's let's focus on getting really well hydrated and flush all the remnants of sugar metabolism and byproduct out of our body and see how long we all can last without having something sugary.
Cool. So we're at the end of November, we're gonna do a poll. So for those of you who are on here, we're gonna run a poll to see how successful you were in, and how. Let's
How long
reframe
did you
that.
last?
How long did you last? I like that. That's better. How long did you last before you caved in and grabbed those chocolate chip cookies that were sitting in the cupboard?
Chocolate chip cookies? How about just the chocolate chippets?
Yeah.
Skip the cookies. Like I when you're really desperate, you'll be scrounging and rummaging
Anything
around
that,
for
yeah,
anything.
you'll be looking in the baking where all the baked goods are and just start eating the raw sugary stuff. Yeah,
But
okay.
literally, like there's a great photo in my mentor's John Matson's Eating Alive book that talks about the sugar bugs actually sending off their chemical pheromones up to your brain to make you eat more of their foods because they're starving out.
Yeah, it's very
Literally.
enticing. Yeah, ah, it totally
Yeah.
makes sense to me. Totally makes
Oh,
sense.
creepy,
Yeah, and
creepy, creepy.
that's why you
Oh,
have this problem of when you stop eating sugar, you have these withdrawals, is because all those little bugs are going like, what's going on?
yeah. And guess what? They start eating off of each other's dead bodies, believe it or not.
Oh,
And
jeez.
then there's another bloom. So it takes a long time to get these critters down to a non-composting level because if at a composting level, they're deteriorating your body.
Yeah,
How do you like that? Think about
yeah,
that.
it doesn't sound good.
No. Okay, so
So
should we
go
shut
out
it
and
down?
have some, go out and binge on
Yeah.
your, not binge, but have a few treats, but don't go crazy. Oh,
Yep.
your
There's,
light just went out.
isn't it? See, we did that again. What's the timing on that?
I don't know.
Amazing. Woohoo.
All right, well, everyone, we're gonna wrap it up here. Thanks, Linda. We lost Linda in the light. She's in the dark now. It must be a Halloween trick or something. I'm not sure.
Ah!
There we go. So we've learned some stuff about sugar today. I've learned some stuff about sugar, and so there's the challenge. Go ahead, have Halloween, and then let's see how long you last. Hey, Linda.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thanks
Thanks,
for your
Gary.
time, Linda. Thanks everyone for showing up, and all the best. Oh, by the way, before we go, don't forget, if you've got any comments, questions, or responses, throw them in the comments below. All the best. Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
Bye for now.